Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. Anybody that's new, welcome. So today we're going to make a Jenga block crescent moon. I wanted to do it last year and I don't think I did Halloween last year. Just kind of jumped from summer, from Christmas in July right to fall and Christmas crafts, but I want to do a couple. So I know I'm going to do this one and another Halloween one for sure that I had an idea. Just kind of waiting for the Halloween stuff to come into Dollar Tree. With this build and any Jenga block build, I always suggest using wood glue. I used to use Wellbond and I do have a couple bottles because I can't find it at Rona anymore, so I don't know why, but Terry was gracious enough to send me a bunch of bottles of the wood glue from DT and I love it. So we're going to use that one for this build today. I don't suggest using hot glue. When you do glue the blocks, they don't seal properly and you'll see the cracks, and they don't hold long term, especially with hot glue. Sometimes like pieces will fall apart, builds will break, depending on the temperature, too cold, too hot, etc. So please you can use any wood glue, even Gorilla wood glue, as long as it's wood glue. Now we did similar things like the Easter egg, the Christmas basket. So this is going to kind of be the same idea. We are going to use the wreath, and this is just from Dollar Tree. It's a 14-inch wreath. This one's from Dollar Tree. You could probably use even one of those big serving platters. You just need something for the round on the outside, just like that. Now I am just going to grab some tape. And what I want to do is, this is just going to be the template. And I kind of do like the clock, 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. I'll tell you that why a little later when we get to that. And I'm just going to glue it down. Tape it down. Just using some painter's tape because I don't want it to move. Now, my mat that I use, because I do get a lot of questions about my map, or my desk map that I use, I use from IKEA. It's just a plastic mat. It's the biggest one that IKEA has. I think it's like $6 or $7. Works great when you're gluing blocks right on it because you can shift around as you're gluing pieces together. Plus the paint will just come off. You just scrape it right off. And it also helps protect the surface that you're working on. Okay, I think that's good right there. Just don't want to shift it. Okay, it's good. Now we're going to start off with the blocks. Now, reason why I did 12 to 6, I'm just going to start right there. And you're going to just kind of space them ½ an inch or so. Just make sure they have a nice space. Now, as you see me do this, you'll be like, oh, I remember that build that we did a while ago, a couple different ones like this. I thought a crescent moon would work, and I'm hoping, because I got 16 blocks here, and I don't know if it's gonna need more. I kind of tested before I started recording. I know Dollar Tree does have the 2-tone blocks, which you can use as well, because this will be a good one because we are going to paint it black. I think I need one more right there. So the reason, I'm going to shift it a bit, and reason why I wanted to move this, because I wanted to make sure this gap was open. So kind of like there was 3 here, and on the 6 o'clock there was 3 there with this one chunk missing. Once you have that glued, we're going to glue another piece. Now we're going to do another row. So this is 16 blocks all together. Now we're going to go and do another row, but we're going to start right over where the gap is, and we're just going to do that. But when I glue it on, actually I'm just going to leave it like just a slight indent, and I'm going to do that all the way around for the next row. All right, so now that I have the second row on, so the base row was 16, the next row was 15. Now I didn't indent it, I kept it exactly same right over top of it. Now this will be the third row, so we will do a third row of 14, then 13, and then 12. So that'll be 5 rows up that we've done. But as I go in, I'm going to just slightly indent them a bit, gluing them a little bit more inwards. And I'm also gonna it's good to let them dry at least 15-20 minutes per row, just so you don't get them to fall over or shift. When you do put the glue on, I just put the, well, we wouldn't start there, but we go dab, dab. And then when you put it on, make sure you press it down, because if you don't press it down, it might move around and then it makes it lopsided when you're going around. And if you have any glue that pops out, this little tool from Dollar Tree is really good just to pick out any glue that you can just put on a paper towel and go along in case you put a little bit too much glue. All right, so I left this for about 4 hours just to make sure it's solid. Even though the glue dries fast, you just want to make sure so it doesn't move around. I am just going to take the tape off. We don't need the tape on this now. We're going to take that out. So, now, as you can see, we started with the first line, which was 16, 15, 14, 13, and 12. And you can see the angle of it going inwards. Now we're just going to flip it over. And we're going to do the exact same as the other side. So the middle one is always going to be 16. So we did 16, 15, and then counted down. Now on this side, we're going to do the exact same thing. And you're just going to add, and the 15 line going around, I'm going to put it right on top. I'm not going to angle it in. And I'm going to go 15, 14, 13, and 12. And I'm going to glue that together and let it dry for a few hours. All right, so I did add an extra row on the outside on both sides. So you start with the longest one, which is in the middle, is the 16, 15, 15, 14, 14, 13, 13, 12, 11. And the total comes to 146. As you can see, it's more rounded inwards and it holds pretty good. So when I did add the extra rows on each side, the 11, I just thought it gave it a little bit wider so you could put stuff in it as well, and just gives it a more rounded effect. Now you can do black paint if you want. It does take a little while. If you want to do the paint, you could also do stain, but I'm going to try just some spray paint. I did spray paint the ones I did, the white ones for Easter I did last year, and the spray paint worked pretty good, and I always could touch it up. But I am just going to use some Rust-Oleum, just some semi-gloss. That's all I have on hand. I'd prefer to use matte, but I am going to give this a good coat, and I'm just going to take it outside. All right, guys, it's done. I didn't have to go in between any of the cracks to paint it. Just when I was spray painting it, it actually did a really good coat. As you can see, I would have went with something not so shiny, but we're going to cover up pieces of it anyway. So I'm just going to leave as is so I don't have to buy another can of spray paint. Now that we have that done, I'm just going to move this out of the way. So we're going to find a base for it. These are just from Dollar Tree. Serving platters. I already went and I just scratched it up already. Just a quick coat of spray paint on it. I was going to do purple, but then that meant I had to buy another can of spray paint. So we're not going to, I just thought I'd keep it black. Now we're going to use a couple more blocks. You could use a floral form to put in here to hold the moon on its side, but I wanted something a little bit more solid. So I opted for some more Jenga blocks. So the total amount for the Jenga blocks, this one was 146. And we're going to do a base. So I did a base right here. It's 12 flat glued to another 12 flat, which is 24. I'm going to flip it over. Now, the thing is, depending, because every moon's going to be different depending how much you have moved your blocks inwards on here and around the base. So it really depends. But the main base will be the flat blocks, the 12 and 12, 24. The two back supports like this are 2 and 2, which is 4. Now, as you can see here, I played with it for a bit and found the best way that it would fit my block. I'm just trying to, and I'm just going to show you here on the side view. This will hold it upright. You might have to put something down as you glue it. This holds it from tipping either way, and then it fits better. So I put the back on first, and then both sides, I just stuck 2 blocks in and found the best place. I'm just gonna stick this in here. The best place, I shifted the blocks either way to found that it was stable, it was upright, it wasn't leaning forward or back, and I did that. I marked it with a pen. As you can probably see the little pen mark there. Now we're just gonna take the base, we're gonna glue it right in the middle. Now I'm not gonna use hot glue, I am going to use, I'll probably use Well Bond. I'm trying to save on my wood glue. Well Bond is just a little bit same, good with tile, glass, foam, stone, ceramics, and wood. I'm gonna glue that right in the middle. I'm gonna leave that for about a half an hour. Then I'm gonna stick the crescent moon. And when I do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm just gonna show you the angle. Where the top part, how can I do this here, show you. I'm not gonna do it even exactly like that. I'm gonna do it back a bit, that this, because we're gonna hang something here. I just want it to hang in a little bit more than on the outside. And you'll find the spot that when you put it on, when you do that, oh, I did forget to mention, once this is glued down, I am just gonna put a coat of black paint on it. Once that's dry, then I am just gonna put some wood glue there, all along there, here, and in the middle, I'm just gonna slather it with a bunch of hot glue. That will set it. Don't let the hot glue or your wood glue touch each other because it doesn't set properly. This way, the hot glue will keep it as is right away if you hold it for a few minutes or just keep something on your crescent moon. And then the outside, the wood glue will actually just dry over time, and then you'll have a solid base onto the base. All right, guys, so I set it up overnight and let it dry. As you can see, it is solid. I did put extra hot glue around the edges as well, back and forth. And in between the cracks, you can't see it. On the bottom, I actually put some more wood glue in between the cracks, and you can also put some hot glue, but it is solid. As you can see, I can pick it up, not an issue, and it looks amazing. Now the next thing we're gonna wanna do is, I wanna put some flowers. I'm gonna turn it sideways so you guys can see it better. I wanna put some flowers on the inside and out. Dollar Tree has a bunch of these Halloween stems and that. And also this one, it's all full of glitter. These ones as well. I am just gonna cut some of them off and put them upwards just to give them a little bit more definition and have them that way, as well as I'm gonna take another stem and cut them a little bit shorter just to hug around the side. Then I already plucked some of these little toppers off, and you can do them on the inside and out and hot glue them right into the corners of the little holes. And I'm just going to turn it up right here, right inside the holes there, as you can see, and just kind of go around. And I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to kind of do the inside out and on the inside and on the out as well. All right, guys, so I did it up higher, as you can see, more to the end here. I'm just gonna turn it like this and right down into the base as well. Now, in the middle, I couldn't add the black part you couldn't see in the flowers. And I just wanted to show you right there. You can see the little bit twigs, and you can get these. They had them last year and they came out this year. It's just a little hanging greenery that's painted black with a little bit of the purple, which goes great with the flowers. And I was just cutting pieces out, which I still got to add. And you're just going to stick them inside just to give them the colors, a little something. Also, I had another idea of putting the Halloween balls, the ornaments, and just a couple of them just to make it pop a bit. I really like the ones with the glitter on it, and you could just put a couple in, hot glue them in, and they also had the black one. So I'm going to finish that off, and then we're going to move on to the next step. All right, so the next thing, we want to put something in the bottom of the base, and obviously a cat is what we want to do. You can get these cats from Dollar Tree. I got this one when I was in California last year, and it was in a box. I believe it was cats, llamas, and something else. I will put the UPC code, and I will post that picture on my Facebook page as well if you want to order online. But I think if you order online, you probably have to order the box. But when you go to Dollar Tree, check around. I had to shuffle some wood, the wood where they keep all their wood crafting stuff, and then I was able to find 2 of them. So I was fortunate to find 2. Now you're going to want to take black paint, and I just used some black glitter. So I already have it here done. Because the inside is roundish, and I didn't want to put it too low because then you wouldn't, the cat would hide a bit. I just cut a piece of floriform just with a long sharp knife just to give it a little bit height, so it brings it up a little bit. Now there was a couple different things that how I wanted to put the cat on here. I thought about using I got it right here, some Spanish moss, but it didn't look good with the flowers. I also thought about putting the green reindeer moss. I didn't try it, but I just didn't want the green in there, so I went with fur. Dollar Tree had these rolls of just fun fur last year. I have every color, about every color they had, but they didn't have purple. So I'm just gonna go with black. So I kind of cut it like a big circle, I guess the top of a Kleenex box kind of sort of thing. So I'm gonna hot glue the floral form inside right on top. I'm gonna put that right there and glue that on as well, just with hot glue. And then this way the cat can sit right on the floral form instead of the fur, so it is solid on there. Now, if you can't find the cat, you can also use different things. You could use, I know they had these ones a couple years in a row, and I'm just gonna, it's hanging here right now, is you could use a skeleton standing, holding on to the side of the flowers as well. You could put the skeleton with pumpkins. It really depends on the color you want to do as well. I am going to stick right behind the cat. There are some holes that you can see here. And I also got this one when I was in California last year, was just a glitter branch, and they came in black, but I think I bought silver, and I'm just going to stick with the silver to pop a little bit. I thought it would look a lot better than just having everything black and with the silver. So it's just a glitter branch from Dollar Tree. So I am going to get hot glue that in, put this in as well, and the cat, and then we're going to move on to the hanging thing that the cat is going to be trying to grab. All right, guys, so we're coming near the end. I did want to say about the cat, prior to last year, because I really wanted to do this build, but I couldn't find the wood cat until I went to California. Now, you could also look on Temu. They have ones on Temu as well, and their wood cutouts are a little bit different, but they're only 15 centimeters from the description on Temu. So be sure to check out Temu if you can't find one in your store and you really want to use a cat instead of some skeletons and pumpkins. So on the front part of the tray, there is nothing there. I didn't want to bring flowers up more on the front part because I want to have it more defined. I was looking through some of my stash, and I said, you know what, the purple rocks would just be nice. I might put a couple here you're not going to see in the back, but in the front, I am just going to pour some, I'm not even going to glue them on. I'm just going to open up and put a couple there, and it will pop because it's the purple and the black. Now for the cat, something hanging. And I played around with a couple different concepts last year. Like I said, I had the cat, and I didn't get around to making, I don't think I did any Halloween last year. And I ordered this on Temu. It was luxurious in the picture, but when I got it, it wasn't. I actually put a coat of Mod Podge on it, thinking it would be shiny. I'm not going to use this. I wanted something that'll pop a little bit more. Now, I don't know if any of you guys keep stuff that you're going to get rid of, or, you know, I always keep little things that I think I'll use in my craft projects. So we had this, I think it was a lamp, chandelier, and they had all these crystal beads, and there was just a bunch of strands, so I kept them and threw the base out because it didn't work anymore. I kept this on hand. I had 2 of them that used to be curtain ties. I just thought once upon a time in the near future I may use this as a craft project. I put 2 of those together and I just came up with that. I just thought it would pop more than just having black beads. It's all on your preference what you want to do. I will just hot glue to the height on the front part of the block on top, looking like it's trying to touch this. So that I'm going to use it for that. And I don't know, there's a couple things I still playing with in my head, is just some of these spiders from Dollar Tree, taking this off, putting it on the tree, putting it maybe in one of the flowers that it's more visible. Dollar Tree also had this one, except this one is ruined. I got a 6-pack of these. I'm not sure if I'm going to do these yet. Also just on hand, I just had a little mouse. Not sure if I'm going to use that. But an idea that I was playing with, and I'm going to play around once I get these other things glued on, was just the idea of on the black fur, because even if you put the mouse on there, it's still black fur, and if I had purple, it'd be a little bit different. But just because this is more of a popping, especially with the silver tree, that, you know, a couple little diamonds on the bottom. The cat's a cat burglar. Just an idea, but I am gonna glue these on, and then I'm gonna come back and show you what I did, and we'll be finished. All right, so we're gonna add just a couple more things, and then I'm gonna call it quits. Now, my Dollar Tree doesn't have really much of Halloween, so it's kind of pick and choose, and I always find later when I do my crafts that I'll find something later that would work with it. Now, I did a star. It's just a wood star I had on hand, and I added another bead just because I wanted something more in the back to fill out instead of it having empty, even though the tree is there. I just took a little foam pumpkin and added some purple glitter used Mod Podge and the black on top. Gonna put it in front of the cat. Also just the little mouse, but I did add some Mod Podge and a little bit of purple glitter just so the eyes pop on it. I'm gonna add one of these in the trees, and I just thought with the silver and a little bit of the blingy that it would make it more pop as well. And I just got these at Dollarama. That's another dollar store we have here in Canada. And it just has a little light on it, and I thought it'd be really cool. Now I'm just gonna put that in the front by the rocks. The only thing is, I didn't put lights on these. I usually add lights, and then I always forget to turn them on. If you do lights, I would use fairy lights, and I would wrap them after as opposed to around the flowers going down. The only reason being, if you put them on first, you're just gonna put a bunch of flowers over them, so you can be able to maneuver the lights when you put them in, and then you could always hide them in the back of the centerpiece if it's a battery operated one, or you can get the small ones. I'm just going to attach these, place them on with some hot glue, and I'm going to show you what it looks like done. All right, guys, so here it is done. I have my boards here so you can't see my crafty mess on the other side of my desk. I think it turned out pretty well. I already have a couple friends that want it, but no, I'm going to keep this one. I really, really like it. And if you can't find the cat, guys, you can always use the skeleton. Just make sure that you guys let the drying time, sometimes the Dollar Tree glue does dry fast, but to, you know, to let it set overnight, just so that the top doesn't shift a bit and that you have a nice moon shape. If you haven't already done so, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. We'll see you guys soon. Happy crafting. Bye.